Now that I'm starting the business, I'm going to need a domain. I'm going to need a website for my business so I can direct people to it and let people know what kind of services I'm offering, what kind of things am I doing. And this has never been easier with AI. And essentially, I don't want to code things out. I want to build everything out using AI, completely written by AI. I don't want to think too much about it. The goal is not to build something that's perfect. The goal is to build something that is working, that is true, that is simple and basic. And so that's what I kind of have in mind for what I'm going to be doing right now. And so what I'm going to be doing is, firstly, I've got a domain, right? So I've got Cognity Data. That's going to be the name, the trade license name that I have for the business. And so I've just bought a domain that is like that as well. You can see I have quite a few. I have two other domains. This is for my personal website, and I'm seeing that the .ai domain, although it doesn't exist, like there's nothing on the .ai domain, it's getting quite a lot of visitors. So maybe it might be worth having my personal website at .ai instead of .com. So let me show you .com. So this is what's going on in .com right now. Not a lot of traffic going to .com, a lot of traffic going to .ai. Maybe worth considering putting my website on .ai or doing something like that. Either way, so I've got Cognitive Data as my domain. I'm going to buy the other domains in a bit as well. But now that I have this, I just want a working website on the .com domain as quickly as I can. Now, what I'm going to be using for this is Astro. So Astro is is a particular framework that you can use that abstracts a lot of the concepts away, and you don't have to think about the templating. You don't have to think about the positioning of the design, layout, all these things. Everything is like you have themes that you can look up. So if I go to resources and I go to themes, people have built like ready-made themes that you can just go ahead and use. And I'm going to use a free one because a lot of them are actually paid. So I'm going to go to categories, e-commerce or landing page, minimal, something like that. Let me just pick minimal, right? I just want something basic, something we can start off with for a company. Now this needs to be for a company, so we need to make sure that it's appropriate because this is more like a personal website. So this is what I maybe would use for my own personal one. But this looks like something that's doable. Astro Base. Yeah. Let's see a live demo of this. Let's see what the website looks like. Okay, very basic, minimal basic. I think this is all I would need. Features, yeah. About, go here. Okay, brilliant. Something very simple, very basic. I think this is a perfect example to use. So I'm just going to use this template, and then all I'll do is change the content within it and just change a few things here and there without doing anything myself, right? So let's actually get started with this. Now, you're going to be using the terminal if you're following along with this. It's not going to be scary at all. We're going to be using very basic natural language as much as we can. But essentially, this is where the template exists. These are all of the files that we will need for the website. So I can just go ahead and copy this URL if I hit that green button. And now what I'll need to do is I'll have to copy this project down to my local machine. So I'm going to open up a terminal. I'm going to head over into projects. And then right over here, I'm just going to hit git clone. So make sure you have git installed firstly. So git, not GTI, git -- version. So I have git installed. And all I'm going to do is git clone, right? So Astro Base. Now, if I hit the ls command, I see I have Astro Base there already. I already have a project called cognitydata.com. That's going to be the name of my website project folder that I'm going to use. So I'm just going to rename Astro Base to cognitydata.com too, for example, right? That will be the name. Okay, brilliant. Now, did I misspell something? Cognity. Yeah, this is a misspelling. Cognity. Oh my god. Hold on. Cognity. Let me change that name. Conginity. Multiple spelling errors. So this needs to be cognitydata.com to cognity. Okay, brilliant. There we have. All right. So now let's just cd into it. Cognitydata.com to. Inside of that, I think there should be a .git folder. Yeah, let's just get rid of the .git folder right now. .git. Yeah, get rid of that. Yeah, this is an annoying thing that's in there. Okay, brilliant. That is all done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch Claude Code in here, actually. That's going to be the tool that I will use. Yes, I trust this folder to make my edits for me. Now, the entire content, the entire website is kind of already ready. So without even doing anything, let's just launch the website. Let's launch the project folder. And you can do that by hitting run, not run install, npm install. So this is going to install all the node dependencies. It's going to be very quick. Ooh. Oh, there's some vulnerabilities. What can we do? npm audit fix. So it seems we can run this command, npm audit fix, to just fix up everything. There we go. And now we can say npm run dev, and this will launch the website on my local host on my machine inside of a development environment. So if I hit that link, and we can see that this is how the current website looks like right now inside of my machine. And this is what we want to change, right? That's what Claude Code is going to help us do. Now, what I'm going to do is I've already defined the content that I want for the website. I've given Claude.ai, I've given it my intent, what I want to do, what my services are, what I'm going to be offering, what my expertise are, all of these things. This is already set in stone and done with Claude.ai. So I've written out and structured the content from Claude.ai. I've gotten all the material. Now all I'm going to do is copy that, paste it over into Claude Code, and have Claude Code make all the changes and edits for me. So that is going to be my game plan. All right. So let's get started with that. Here I have Claude Code open. All I'm going to do is I'm going to let Claude Code know my intent. Firstly, let me just see if I'm using the right model. Yep, I'm using Sonnet. You can use Opus for this. It will be fantastic, but I just want to use Sonnet to save on my API costs and rate limits. All right. I want to build my own website. The template is ready. I just want you to change the content without altering the structure or design in any way. All right. And then I'm just going to paste. Oops. Oh, wait, I have to copy all that again. Damn. All right. Let me go back here. So this is all my content. Go back here. Right. Paste that in there. Oh, no, wait. Deny. Not there. Over here. Paste it in there. There we go. Paste it. So now I've given it all of my content that I want it to use and translate that all over to this website. And as this is working, we're actually going to see the changes happen live over here. It might take a little while to get that up and running, but essentially that's all I'm going to do. Is that I've done most things here using natural language. I have not written code. I've not written a line of HTML, CSS, nothing. I'm using a template that you can get off of the internet. Download that template. It just requires 2 or 3 commands for you to just copy paste in. And then once you have that template as a folder in your local machine, all you need to do is spin up an instance of Claude Code, provided your context, like what is your company, what is it going to be doing, what are the services, blah, blah, all these things. And maybe even don't provide it everything. You can have it make things up as well. At this point, I'm not too picky unless you want to provide it actual concise things it needs to add. You can just go ahead and do that. So it's going to ask me for some permissions. So yeah, make some edits here. Make that edit. You can see things are changing now. Cognitive data shows up on the website. And this is all going to keep going on. What I will do now is that I'll open up another instance. I've already completed this, right? So I want to go into my completed project. So you can see Claude Code is asking me for more permissions. I'm just going to keep saying yes, and this will keep going on. And now over here, let me launch npm run dev. This is the completed website. Essentially, this is what we are going to get. This is the end result of all the formatting and everything that I had done. So my services are agentic AI systems, RAG and LLM applications, ML ops and deployment, AI consulting, and workflow automation using N8N. So quite a few things. Again, it's not very direct. There are quite a few services, so it's not like very personalized, or it's not very clear you can say, oh, maybe I should change that because my messaging isn't exactly clear. It's still very generic that these are the kinds of services that I can do. But regardless, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to use as a V1. I just want to put something up there. So now that I have the website ready, let's say, so I'm going to close this instance of Claude Code. I don't want it to be making changes or edits anymore. So in essence, this is like ready to go. This is all I need. Let me see what I have here. Right, yeah, .vs Code. I think we're ready to go. I don't think there's much more things to be done. And the way to actually host this, there are a multitude of ways. You can actually host it on GitHub as well, but I'm not going to be doing that. I want to host it on Cloudflare because Cloudflare is where my domain exists, and this is where my personal website exists as well. So I just prefer having everything in one place. All I want to do is that my website currently exists on my local machine right now. I need to push it up to GitHub. Once it's on GitHub, so it'll be on the cloud, it'll be somewhere on the internet, and once it's over there, I can easily integrate it with Cloudflare, and Cloudflare will just pick up my GitHub project and like do everything for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new repo. I'm going to call this cognitydata.com. All right, that is available. So company website. Just keep it basic. Choose visibility. I think it needs to be public. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, that's fine. No readme, no nothing. Just create repo. That's all we need. All right, and now that this is created, now that this exists, we need to push our local repo to GitHub. So we have instructions over here how we can do that. So push an existing repo from the command line. This is what we want to be doing. So in our project, back into the terminal in the local folder, what we're going to do is we're going to use git init. Right, we want to initialize it. So initialized empty git repo, and we should be able to see .git. Yeah, there it is. Got .git. Okay, and now we need to commit changes. So git add everything. Git commit message initial commit. This is the first commit I'm making. So this is the initial commit. Git status. Everything is clean. Okay, now we want to push. So we're going to just copy this command. Git remote add. Okay, paste that in there. And then git branch and main, and then git push origin main. -u origin main. So -u just sets the upstream, right? So that we know where it needs to be pushed, and it'll set it, meaning it'll happen every single time. It will be pushed to this particular repo and branch. Username. So username is Shahir Raj. Okay. It's going to ask for my password. And now over here, what I'm going to do, little bit of setup. I thought this was going to be a lot quicker, to be honest, than it is right now. So, but we need to create some new access tokens. So we'll go into tokens, generate new classic token. Yeah, use passkey, whatever. And then we're just going to generate Omarchi desktop website. Okay, just set to 90 days. You can set it to never. I just like keeping it 90 days because I don't like myself. I want to make life difficult for me, and a very painful process of checking every single box. This is just to make sure that I'm not going to have an issue doing anything once I generate this token. All right, have that here, copy, paste that in. All right, done. So now it should be pushed up to GitHub. So if we head over back into repo, here's the cognitive data. And now we have our entire website. So this is like ready to go. All we need to do is go back to Cloudflare and actually host it, right? Cloudflare is where this website is going to be hosted. To do that on Cloudflare, you'll have to go into compute, workers, and messages, and then we will create a new project. Let me just make this full screen. So create an application, continue with GitHub, Shahir Raj. So search repos. So we're going to search for cognitive data. There it is. Next, build command, npm run build. Exactly. So that's going to be the run command, deploy. Oh, wait. Project name, cognitydata.com. Okay, so we'll just say cognitive data. So a project on Cloudflare can't have a dot or some special characters like that. A GitHub repo can. That's not an issue. That's the only thing we need to change. Otherwise, everything is going to be exactly the same. All right, build and deploying. Now all we do is wait. This is going to go through my entire Git repo. It's going to install, build the application. It should be relatively quick. I can't remember if it'll take a little bit of time to like. I don't know if it'll take a little time to actually show. Although the actual installation of all the tools, the packages, dependencies, and everything won't take much time at all. You've seen me go through it, and so it should be very, very similar to that as well. But who knows? Maybe Cloudflare will take a little bit of time. I see a few kind of errors. Failed. Error occurred while running deploy command. Oh, okay. So a couple of errors going on, but I'll have to dig into it. Okay, let's see what's going on. So failed error occurred while running deploy command. Why is that? Logs were written. Continue to project. Okay, I think I figured out what the issue is. And the thing is that instead of create an application, I actually need to create a page. So deploy websites and full stack apps instantly, right? So pages is actually what I need. And then I have to import an existing Git repo. And I'm not seeing my GitHub repo. If a repository is not shown, configure repository access for the Cloudflare pages app on GitHub. Okay. And then I have to select the Cognity data one. Cognity. There it is. So it has access to Cognity data and Shahir Raj. That's right. Save. Okay, now I'm back here. I have to go back? Okay, wait, go back. Okay, yeah, here we are. Cognity data. There we go. Begin setup. So main branch, framework presets, Astro. So we're using Astro, npm run build, dist. Yeah, no environment variables, nothing. It should be just good to go, save, deploy. There will be environment variables to consider later. And now, so this is going to initialize, and yeah, now it's going to go and build everything. This should work. There shouldn't be anything left for us to do at this point. Okay, cloning Git repo, building application. Moment of truth is going to happen here. There's some warnings, but no errors, which is good, but still building. Warning. Oh, damn. Another warning. Checking for configuration Wrangler configuration file beta. Okay, build. It's built. Deploying to Cloudflare's global network. Upload complete. There we go. Oh, wait. Is it done? It's done. There we go. It's live. The only thing is that it's not using my current domain right now. So let's try and do that. So add custom domain. Brilliant. So it's just a setup, very simple setup. Set up a custom domain, and my domain is going to be cognitydata.com. Yeah, active domain. Activate domain. So now it should change from this domain, cognitydata-com.pages.dev, and then it will use the custom domain cognitydata.com. Okay, so it's being set up. It may take up to 48 hours for DNS records. It didn't take 48 hours for me when I was setting it up for my personal account, my personal website. So it shouldn't take that long, but it will take a while. It probably won't be done within the confines of this video. But yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. You can see that we have the website. It's already up. And what did that take me? 10 minutes? I don't know. How long have I been recording? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? All you really needed is the data that I had on Claude.ai. Once the data is written, pass it over to Claude Code. It's really all that simple to set up your website. You don't have to overthink it. Super simple. So that's all I want to be talking about in this video. I will be posting more on how I'm building how I'm building business, how each services are going, how I'm going to niche down and find exactly what it is that works for me. So yeah, stay tuned.